Hey, what's up, listener? Thank you for pressing play. This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we got a new trailer for Avengers Endgame. Marvel brings James Gunn back for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The Disney Fox deal is officially official, and Warner Brothers will be focusing on standalone DC movies for the near future, plus our spoiler review of Season 1 of Umbrella Academy on Netflix, and a whole lot more coming up right now in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, March 15th, 2019.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Why? I don't know.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. We're talking, we nerded. Spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert.
Hello, listener. What's up? How's it going? Thanks for joining us this week, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news reviews and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And over in the corner there is more than slightly buzzed Felty. It's Rugboy. How's it going, Rugs?
Full disclosure, I've been drinking.
Yes.
A lot.
Well, good for you, Rugs.
It's because it's our birthday.
Yes, this is a special momentous occasion. It is officially our 4th birthday. Happy birthday to us. Jock and Nerd. Gentlemen,
Woo!
We are entering the 5th year.
Yeah.
Podcasting. Just complete. This completes 208 weeks straight of podcast programming.
Do podcasts age in dog years?
Which, well, that means we're like
feels like
46. 28. Type 7.
Jesus Christ.
I can't do math. My
you
brain
have
is
all
mush.
the dogs, literally all the dogs in the world, and you can't do dog math.
Because they're not dog years. They're the years they are, and I adjust for time and space.
Okay.
Right.
Listen,
Right.
Imran has the Infinity Stones.
I have
and he
all
can
the
make it whatever he
Infinity
wants.
Stones. That's right. I mean, so
Imran is number 5 and went back in time.
we're 4 years old. Oh, there you go. There's a good callback. We're 4 years old, and I don't want to make we're not going to go a big deal out of it. It's going to be, we're going to do a regular show. And really just, I want to take a moment to say thank you to our audience.
We're at the point where when you get older and you're like, don't throw me anything, please. Don't, stop. Don't. My dad is at this point where he goes, if you throw me a surprise party, I will turn around and walk out. Don't do it.
I'm already there. Like, my 43rd birthday is coming up soon. I don't want to, just don't acknowledge it. Why? Who cares? It's 43.
Yeah, when you look, we've done this 4 years. Like it was a momentous thing. Like the first year we got through it. And then the second year, the third year, now we're like just doing it. It's just part of our lives now.
It's just a grind that keeps
it's like
grinding.
Who we are. We do fucking podcasts. We fucking analyze movies.
Leave it or love it.
We do. We give things shit.
This is what we do now.
And,
that is important, though, to thank the listeners because I actually do genuinely enjoy doing this. Even though it's with you two fucks, I still genuinely enjoying it.
Yeah, that's the only drawback for you.
It's still a lot of fun to me, but really the community we've made, everyone who's pressed play, everyone who's reached out, everyone, if you've listened to one episode, you've been with us for a year, a month, the whole time. We can't.
Anyone that's Imran's led into his house, he hasn't
all
really
the strangers
before.
that came in to record.
Anyone who's almost raped Imran.
Yikes. Look, so if you are a new listener, and if this is your
I'm sorry to go dark.
Your first episode, it's Drunk Boy. It's going to happen. Oh, shit. Check out our show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/266 for all the links to everything we're going to talk about, how to get in touch with the show, how to subscribe, where you can listen so you can never miss an episode. And let's get to the news, fellas.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Some big MCU news this past week. We recorded a day earlier last week, And of course, what happens is Marvel.
Everything drops.
Everything drops.
After.
Marvel puts out a second trailer for Avengers Endgame.
Geek boner.
Out of nowhere, without any kind of warning.
Right.
And we would have been able to talk about it last week, but since we recorded a day early, you
guys did like a little thingy.
Yes, we did put up a lovely Patreon clip that's free for everyone. You don't have to be part of our fan club. It's a sample of what you can get. I'll put a link in the show notes for today, but we're probably going to repeat some of the shit. But Ruggs, we didn't get to hear from you.
Right.
Why don't you start? What did you think of this Avengers trailer? The second trailer. We've not had a lot of marketing here.
Well, Marvel's playing it close to the vest. They're not really giving a lot of stuff away. It was basically a clip show of older movies. I'm sure this is all keyed into what's happening. So you have Iron Man's first venture out as in his first suit. You have Captain America, listening to the Peggy over, the voiceover of basically telling him about
sometimes you got to start over.
Yes, sometimes you got to start over. And then you have Thor, and then it kind of goes into clips of some little teasers of them in the suits, and that they're not. What's the quote that they
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. They're not going to stop. They're just going to do whatever it takes.
They love that Imagine Dragons song. That's the truth.
Yeah.
They love the Imagine Dragons.
So it just shows that they're all doubling down, and there's a little bit of a Hawkeye foreshadowing with the daughter shooting the arrow. I don't know if she's going to be brought back. Or I think she was dusted, right?
That's probably
that's the theory that he got dusted. The family got dusted, and he's now out being Ronin because he's very angry.
And that's why.
Well, maybe when this is all cleared up, maybe we got a new Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's back in. Kate Bishop.
Maybe.
Yeah, Kate Bishop in the comics is not his daughter, but it is the female Hawkeye that he trains, and in the comics,
right.
They're amazing together. You got Ant-Man looking all confused, like, what the fuck's going on here? And just some really quick battle scenes. But again, this marketing has been amazing. Like, they're
not showing you shit on purpose.
Showing us stuff, but not showing us stuff. I also think there's people still deleted, especially since we got the Brie Larson, Carol Danvers reveal at the end.
I think it's definitely the Super Hulk.
Yes,
it's basically
Professor
the
Hulk.
Banner mixed with the Hulk. So it's a smart Hulk. He's definitely, I've seen him in promo images with the quantum suits on. So I think that's left out as a surprise, maybe. I don't know.
What'd you think of the Captain Marvel bit as the tag?
Well, people were upset that she has wearing makeup and a black tank top.
I heard this and I was what the fuck? You can't win. They're like
you can't do anything without people complaining.
If she didn't have makeup, people will complain. If she had makeup, people will complain.
This is the way I rationalize it, right? She's been floating around the universe for 20, 30 years, right? She's probably going to have gone to some parties and done some stuff. She's not just flying around kicking ass. She probably takes a break and relaxes every once in a while.
Come on. She found makeup in the meantime.
Yeah, come on. Well, let's not.
That's ridiculous.
It's not dumb. But we said it.
The black tank top, too, Bilotti pointed this out in one of our chats, is actually a nice little nod to her
Miss Marvel costume.
Yeah, Miss Marvel costume.
Where it was black with light.
It was definitely done with that intent to kind of do a little fan service to that costume.
I mean, we said this in our Patreon clip, but I think she shows more character and personality in that 3-second silent clip we got than kind of in the whole movie of Captain Marvel.
Well, the other thing was that the complaints, if you go on Twitter, it's always the bottom of the barrel.
Of course.
But they were saying, why does she have to be tested by Thor?
Well, he doesn't know her.
Yeah. I'm they're creating moments that are going to get you excited.
And if anything,
it's empowering.
And it empowers her character because you go after you see that scene, you go, oh fuck!
Damn, she didn't flinch.
She's seen it.
Yeah.
She's seen it all.
Yeah, nothing.
She doesn't flinch at all to that.
Didn't even
Thor
budge.
doesn't know this girl from a hole in the wall, and he instantly knows that she's not somebody to fuck with.
I love it when he's like,
how is that
this
not
one.
empowering?
Yeah, it's very empowering. She's going to be badass. Also, I think this tells us she shows up very early in the movie and possibly is not the person to save Tony and Nebula.
You know, the thing about trying to glean the timeline in these trailers, I've read a lot of stuff after.
Yes.
about how Marvel, and then they have intentionally fucked with things in trailers. So now I'm at the point where I think I know what's going on, and now after reading all these other articles, I'm going, fuck, I don't know if Marvel's fucking with the timeline or not. Maybe they're digitally taking the beard out, putting it back on. I have no fucking clue.
It's completely possible. To your point, Anthony, there's articles out there saying Avengers Endgame directors admit trailers use manipulated shots, footage not even in the movie. And then another article saying, no, the Russos haven't admitted to shooting fake scenes for the trailers. The point is, who knows what they're sitting on? We know they purposely mislead people in the trailers, but I think they're doing a great job.
The Russos lie all the time.
They lie all the time, and they're very smart at it. So, like you said, I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know. You can't deduce anything. This whole thing
can't
can
handle
be a
the truth.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. We're all going to be there opening day or the opening weekend watching this shit. But there's no even need for this trailer.
No. And in these articles, he's achieved what they wanted, which is the quote is something about when I went to see Empire of the Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. Well, he's saying the trailers, we didn't know what the reveal was, and we were so shocked going in. And he's like, I kind of want to recreate that nowadays. And it's so hard to do it, but these guys are doing it. We just got to sit tight and enjoy the ride.
Listen, they did this to keep the hype going.
Yeah, it's working.
They didn't want to lull in the hype, so they just put out another trailer, and they might be misleading. They might be kind of like baiting and switch us, you never know. But like, it's just there to keep the hype going, and it's working. We're all talking about it.
Yeah, you could pour over every screen and screenshot an image, and it's not going to mean anything because we know they lie and they change things. So why even bother? Listener, let us know what you think of the trailers. Do you think it is actually what they're showing us or not? Join our Facebook group. It's an exclusive group just for you. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. You can geek out with all of our fun listeners and follow us on Instagram at Jock and Nerd on the gram, link in the show notes. Moving on, more big fucking news from Disney. Holy shit. Disney reinstates James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh shit.
This is nuts, but Anthony, this all started in July of last year when that dude, Mike Cernovich, dug up 10-year-old tweets, and Disney forced Disney's hand, really. There was nothing else they could do. But look, say we are going to let him go. James Gunn, quiet this whole time. And then suddenly they're like, he's back for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But Anthony, you told me you read something, which is a nice twist on this, which I found very interesting.
Did you find that article too?
I think so.
Yeah. So basically, this is old too, as of it's a week ago. But Disney announced that they're rehiring James Gunn for Volume 3. But the article I read, and what article was that?
It was a Hollywood Reporter article.
Hollywood Reporter, where they basically said that this was the plan all along. They had a conversation with him shortly after, and they liked what they heard. So they knew they were going to rehire him, but then they didn't want the bad press of immediately rehiring someone they fired, so they sat on it for a bit. Then James Gunn took the Suicide Squad directing role, and then they had to figure that out. And then once they figured that out, then they made the decision.
So now he gets to do that.
Why would he take that role if he knew he was coming back? I really don't. I don't really believe that. I don't think that Disney would let one of their prized directors go over to DC to direct one of their major films.
Is it possible that maybe he didn't know and it was just held up at the higher level?
Maybe he thought that it was a verbal agreement, but since there was nothing in paper, I think
he was calling their bluff.
Might have been.
Well,
might have been.
I also want an article speculating the fact that he did, handle it graciously. And imagine if he started talking shit about Disney and burned his bridges, like he kept quiet was one of the reasons that they were like, we're going to bring him back. We just need time.
He wins.
To sit on this. So yes,
if you analyze this,
yes.
Right, DC hires him to do Suicide Squad, not a peep of negativity. And Disney's like, all right, well, fucking, he's in the clear now. Let's get him back.
They fucking tested it out, Ruggs.
So I don't think that Disney wanted him to go to DC, but that was like the proving ground. They're just like,
they threw him over there to see what would happen.
No, they didn't throw him. Like, obviously James Gunn took an opportunity.
Yeah.
And it reflected well on him. And I think that Marvel and Disney is into observing what the public does.
Yes.
And they saw that there wasn't an outcry to fucking get him down. Everybody embraced this. So they're like, let's get him back. let's get him as the next movie that he does after Suicide Squad is going to be our movie.
I mean, a lot of PR wins here for Disney and James Gunn. First of all, Disney now, like a big corporate company, is willing to give second chances. They have shown that they will not cave into internet trolls. Holy shit. But
I wouldn't go that far.
No?
I think they did cave into internet trolls, and I think
then they uncaved.
DC takes risks.
Yeah.
Big risks all the time, and they took a risk with Gunn, and it worked out for them, and Marvel was like, okay, let's move now.
Yeah.
So I think that it was an opportunistic thing for Marvel.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would agree with Ruggs in that they did cave. They definitely caved.
But then they uncaved.
And then they uncaved. I mean, they made
they
it
saw
better.
that the road was clear.
Yeah. Crazy, dude. Do you think this will overshadow his Suicide Squad movie? Because before, I was excited that this was going to be his big, like, fuck you to Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. But now, I'm like, all right, this is going to be like Suicide Squad or Guardians Light, waiting for the main course, which is Guardians 3.
It's very interesting because James Gunn is now going to be privy to a lot of DC stuff.
Oh, shit, that's right.
And Marvel might want to, like, pick his brain a little bit and see what fucking DC's up to. Not that they give a shit, but, like, it's interesting that, or maybe DC wants to pick his brain and what Marvel's up to.
The other thing is Disney really needs James Gunn because they have a lot riding on him, on his stories, on his Guardians.
Well, they got the cast, yeah.
They have the cast. He also helped, with Infinity War. He helped. The bigger picture is the theme park shit. He helped write and direct the theme park stuff. And the reason why this is important is because the Guardians of the Galaxy characters fall outside of this Universal theme park character deal Disney has, where it's a weird thing where they can't use like their own characters dressed up, but they could do whatever they want with the Guardians of the Galaxy because they weren't part of that initial deal from years ago. So there's a Guardians of the Galaxy ride and land. So Gunn has a lot of stuff for Marvel, and now he's going to learn a lot about Disney. Ultimately, Gunn wins the most, the double. He's the double.
Yeah, he had the power move right there.
He gets the two teams with dysfunctional crews that he can
Huge
just do whatever
energy.
he wants.
Yeah. He can have.
What also, it was funny that this happened on the day it did, because literally the night before I was thinking about Marvel.
Yeah.
And I was going, man, they're really, they're on a roll here. They're doing really well. Captain Marvel was a little bit of disappointment, but overall they're doing well. But man, I loved both Guardians movies. So I was just going, it's really a shame.
Would have been a shame.
The third movie, whoever it's going to be directed by, it's not going to feel the same. It's not going to be the end of Gunn's trilogy.
Yeah.
And then literally the next day they hired Gunn. And I couldn't have been more happy.
It's so crazy.
About a movie.
I do think this throws off their plans for their next slate a little bit because now they got to wait till he does Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's supposed to not start. It won't come out till 2021. He won't start working on it till 2021.
So I don't know if Feige had plans for this thing to come earlier and it was a bigger role or a bigger part of whatever's happening next. But now they got plenty of things to work with. And our next story is proof of that. You guys, the Disney Fox deal is official done.
Oh shit. Geek boner.
We've been talking about this since 2017. Disney first announced a bid to buy Fox late 2017 for $53 billion. They got bid up to $71.3 billion. Shareholders approved this in July of 2018. And as of Wednesday midnight this week, it's official. Disney has seized all of Fox stuff, meaning the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, are coming home to the MCU, but even bigger. Disney now owns like Aliens, Predator, Planet of the Apes, The Simpsons,
right?
60% of Hulu, a ton of stuff.
It's great and it's bad at the same time.
Okay, Ruggs, let's get into this because you're absolutely right. It's great for consumers, but it is bad for so many people on the other side of the camera, on the industry side.
There's people going to lose their jobs.
Correct.
Number one, they're going to have to like thin out the house.
Yes.
I also think that the quality of, we're going to be Disneyfying a lot of this stuff that wasn't Disneyfied. It was like a little bit more edgy. So we're going to get a softer version of a lot of these properties.
Interestingly enough, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, seems to be the only character that's going to survive this merger out of all the X-Men, which is fucking ironic.
What do you mean he's going to survive?
So they're going to recast everybody else, but they're not him. Because he is Deadpool.
Well, there's some anonymous with like a Hugh Jackman. If he wanted to come back as Wolverine, I guess they would embrace it.
Yes.
But he's done.
Yeah.
And Reynolds is like gung ho about Deadpool. So,
other negatives. First of all, if you are a person pitching movies, you have now one less studio to pitch to.
Right.
Movie theaters are very nervous because Disney's been known to fuck with their ticketing when they don't follow their rules for their movies. Now they have even more power. Anthony, do the pros outweigh the cons? Or is this the time we look at in the future when Disney runs the government and there's mouse ears on the White House? We're going to look back at today and be like, remember when they bought Fox? Oh, the shit changed then.
I mean, I particularly enjoy it just because I want all my MCU.
Yeah,
so from
home.
the MCU standpoint, I really enjoy it. Everything else, whoever owns it, I don't really care. I will say that, I mean, obviously it's bad in that people will lose jobs. It's bad that there's the power is now even more so towards Disney. There's all these properties are now under one roof, which can,
it's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is a little scary. Scary is a relative term. It's a little like, oh, that's something to think about. But there's also now a void, and it seems like, judging by the title of this episode, Netflix is fully embracing the non-Disney material. Maybe there's it seems like there might be this groundswell for things that aren't Disney, and maybe someone fills the void that Fox has now left, and something else rises up. So who knows?
Well, it does open up a lot of room for other things to come up. Marvel's got only a limited amount of movies it can make a year. So it does, we were getting like a shitload of movies because Fox was making them at the same time Marvel was making them. So we were getting like a bunch of Marvel movies a year or Marvel-based movies a year.
Yep.
So we're going to get like fewer of those movies. So yeah, it's going to open up a playing field where someone else can rise if they want to with these obscure characters that are not Marvel or DC, these independent characters.
Every other streaming content provider can give them a run for their money.
And the thing too is now all these other networks, you're already seeing it, but all these other networks and streamers, now that they're losing even more potential content because all the Fox stuff has gone over to Disney, they're all searching for the next big thing, the next Walking Dead, the next Game of Thrones, the next piece of literature that they can adapt and make a thing. So now I think even more of these things that were indie comics or things that are a little bit off the beaten path, I think are going to get more chances because people are taking risks on this stuff because they need these properties because Disney owns everything else.
They got to fight Disney. It's Disney against everyone else. But yeah, it's a great time for indie creators to get something made. I think the next thing that's going to be interesting to watch, of course, is this Disney Plus launch later this year because, look, they're paying $71 billion for this deal. This Disney Plus it's going to cost them fucking millions and millions of dollars. And at however much, $8 a month per subscriber, like they're not going to make money back on this for a long time.
Netflix doesn't make money.
No, so
Netflix is still losing money.
Are the shareholders nervous? What is this going to do to the stock? They're going all in on this Disney Plus and putting lots of money behind it. So, I mean, we'll be paying for it. So,
I mean, all the parents will get Disney Plus, right?
You're gonna have to. That's the only place you're gonna be able to.
Because you're gonna have your kid, and you're gonna be raising your kid, and you're gonna need to go away, and you're gonna need to plop your kid in front of the TV.
Yeah,
you're gonna throw on a Disney movie.
So then the other question I had is, do we really want them to rush some of this into the MCU? Like everyone's like, oh, well, this is enough time, and I thought it too. Is this enough time to put a post-credit scene with the X-Men and Fantastic Four? But now I'm like, you know what? You got James Gunn back. You got Guardians back. Take your time. Do this right. I don't think they should rush trying to introduce these new characters.
It's an interesting time right now because they're closing up like this story that they've been telling for the past however many years.
10 years.
And there's room for a bunch of new stuff to come out. And I think that, a lot of the main characters' contracts are up. They might not be coming back. Who knows? But, you have these great new properties. You have Fantastic Four. You have all those characters like Silver Surfer and shit like that.
Great
you got
villains,
the X-Men and all the mutants.
Yeah, and great bad guys.
So Spider-Man's the only holdout, really, that's not completely Disney's yet. So it's interesting to see what they're going to do. When
Sony's
they get
making
back.
money over with the fucking non-Spider-Man Spider-Man shit, so I don't think they're going to let go of that anytime soon.
It's going to be a while before we have a fully whole
we're close,
Marvel
though.
universe.
They all came home. It's crazy. Okay, I got a couple of DCEU movie news. I'm going to read these 3 headlines. You guys let me know which one we want to talk about the most, all right?
Okay.
Because they're all kind of crazy stories. Number 1, Flash shocker Ezra Miller writing script in bid to stay on as star.
Nobody cares.
The only thing I'll say about that,
Yes.
I'll give it a real quick spiel on it.
This is crazy.
I just find it interesting that he's so desperate,
Yes.
and the things have gotten so desperate that he has to write his own script to stay on board. Okay, that's all I got.
He's teamed up with Grant Morrison to write a script because they want to make it lighter. They don't want to do Flashpoint. They want to recast him, and he's not down with that. So, and Ezra wants to do a darker take on the material. I didn't know he was that big of a fucking Flash.
No, he just wants to be in a huge movie that's going to make him rich for the rest of his life.
Just think about it. He had it for a second. I was like, I was Flash. This was going to be a thing.
Let me write a script
It's
now
all
for
fucking collapsing around on me. All right, number 2 DC movie headline. The Batman may follow Captain Marvel's lead by taking place in the 90s.
Oh, shit.
Is this a good idea? Anyone?
I just got to say, for this one, all I got to say is, didn't we get Batman movies in the 90s? What are we doing here?
That was during the 90s.
It was during the... I get it. I know. And those movies weren't really in the 90s. They were in the Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher weird version. I just kind of find it funny that they want to go retro Batman in the 90s.
So we knew this was going to be a younger take on Batman, on Bruce, but I thought... So this is still in canon. The Ben Affleck
I feel like
Batman.
it makes Batman more impressive because, like, right now, all the shit we have on our phones makes technology kind of like old hat.
Oh, good point.
And then if they go back to the 90s,
don't have any of that.
The wonderful toys that he has.
He's got to make up.
He's ahead of the game.
He's using fucking Game Boys
What's
and
Gotham
pagers.
like in the 90s?
Ugh, no, God.
Just shithole.
Yeah.
Just like New York was in the 80s.
And early 90s. And Detroit is now. So, yeah. It's funny because it's almost like they see Captain Marvel and they're like, hey, let's do that.
I think what they're doing, and you'll echo this in the next bullet point, but I think what the DCU is gravitated towards is making each film just independent of anything.
And I think that's the smart way to go.
No tie-ins,
Yes.
just let's make
For
this
them.
film. And so the way to do this for Batman is to do a prequel.
What is the prequel? They did Aquaman, made him $1 billion. Wonder Woman 1984 is coming out, and the next story regarding that, they're saying it's not a sequel and will be a standalone adventure like the James Bond movies. Again, fine, great idea. Stop trying to shoehorn it in. But I'm afraid, well, how do you explain Steve Trevor? He'll just show up and they won't have to explain it because...
That's a tough one right there. I don't see how they make it a standalone with Steve Trevor.
What this does now is it completely takes it out of in a different direction than Marvel movies.
Yes.
Or Marvel movies are building on continuity. Yeah. They're creating a story that you can follow through the ages.
It jumps around.
And the character changes and has different arcs according to these different times. And James Bond is just always James Bond.
Yeah.
No matter what movie you see him in, he's always the same fucking guy. So it's going to detract from the character, I think, a little bit. But if they want to go about this route just to be different, that's fine.
So in James Bond, it says in this article, characters die and then they just come back and with a different actor, recast in a different movie. Nobody explains it. It doesn't matter. I just don't know how do you explain Chris Pine, Steve Trevor in a 1984 time period.
Okay, they don't care, I guess.
No.
So we'll see.
Yes, but look, it makes...
If they don't care, why don't we care?
We don't care either. It kind of makes sense. And
they're like, oh, this is getting in the way of me making my movie that I want to make, so fuck them.
I would love to see Wonder Woman throughout the time, standalone Wonder Woman movies. Good. Do it. Do something, DCEU. Don't blow it. Shazam is next. And are you guys feeling any buzz for Shazam coming out very soon?
I'm feeling a buzz.
Well, Russ is feeling a buzz.
Wrong guy to ask.
Wrong different. Well, maybe let me rephrase the question.
I gotta say, I haven't really felt. I mean, I personally am excited for it.
Me too.
But I haven't really felt any sort of
It looks
buzz.
like it's gonna be fun, like a lot of good laughs, and then some hard-hitting action.
It's tough to really generate buzz when you have the shitstorm that was the Captain Marvel buzz,
Yes.
and then
an Endgame,
Avengers Endgame folding that,
and Game of Thrones,
and you sandwich in between
Yes.
that. It's tough to generate buzz.
I've heard good things, but Shazam is a character that no one really gives a fuck about for the most part, so you really can't fuck it up.
Right. So it may just be a lot of fun.
You got carte blanche.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for this one. And that'll be the next movie. And then we got Endgame. We're going to take a quick break here and play some promos as we do every episode. But before we do that, I want to share our new promo with you, the listener. You guys are great. One of our great listeners bought us some John Bailey cameo videos. John Bailey at Epic Voice Guy. You know his voice. You've heard him on Honest Trailers. So he got a couple of different clips, and I cut together 2 30-second promos and a 1-minute promo that's combining the 2 30-second promos. That's the one I'm going to play. But this is all to say, if you are a podcaster and you have a show, you want to do a promo swap, we'll play yours, you play ours. Just reach out. You can email us, show@jockandnerd.com.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
We will show you ours all day long, son. And we'll do a promo swap. But here you go. I don't think you guys have heard this long one, full 1-minute version. Here it is. Super produced by me, I guess.
You've heard others, but nothing could prepare you for the shameful stupidity that is the Jock and Nerd podcast. Hear Imran.
So if you offend everyone at once, it's a wash. I've covered everybody.
Anthony.
Sorry, I was texting. Say that again.
And Rugboy.
Yeah, whenever there's a snowstorm, my Slack hole tightens up
as they talk over one another.
Just exactly the same as
Terminator.
We're talking over each other. It's fine.
Sorry.
Swear.
I had boobies.
And ask you for money.
Just give us the money.
Witness the hubris as they claim to be the world's authority on comic book movies.
Who said?
Never said that. You've never said that.
Who cares? A jock said that.
Comic book, TV, movie reviews, news, and whatever they choose. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
It's campy, silly, goofy fun.
Seriously, people really listen to this.
Jock and Nerd. That's pretty epic.
Yeah,
come on.
That's the word I was going to use.
Wow,
epic.
What do you guys think? Honestly, that's all. I'm kind of proud of the way I.
You said cursing, and then you said boobies.
Yeah, it's absurd humor.
You should have said penis.
Subverting.
That's not even a curse.
That's not a curse verse.
Or you just put in the beep that I had told you.
Yeah, you know what? I was too lazy to take a second pass at it. Okay. I like subverting expectations. Anyways, if you want that promo, it'll be linked in the show notes. Download it. Show us your promo. And we'll love it long time, podcaster. Okay, we'll be right back right after this break.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Don't worry, Toby. Just use the force. Like in that film, you know.
365 Flicks Podcast. 365 Flicks Podcast. Come and listen to it right after you finish this podcast you're listening to. It's got Chris and Kevin and a weather guy called Toby. What's the point in a weather report on a podcast, I hear you ask? Well, there's only one way to find out. Download every episode that is currently out and listen to those bad boys right now. It's got Toby Osmond, who is kind of a guest host, but thinks he is the most important part of the podcast. Hashtag not joking.
You can find 365 on iTunes, Libsyn, Spotify, and awesome websites like dangerentertainment.net, nerdly.co.uk, and Tangent Bound Network. It's like shit in a field.
Hey, my name's Paul, and I'm not an animal expert.
I'm Donna, and I'm not an animal expert either.
And together we do a podcast about animals called Varmints.
Every week we pick an animal, do a bunch of research on it, and bring you some interesting facts about that animal.
But we don't stop there. We talk about that animal in movies, TV, and other pop culture.
And we talk about whether or not that animal would make a tasty dish, and how intelligent we think it is on the scale of 1 to 10.
It's exactly like one of those fancy PBS nature documentaries.
Except with more poo jokes.
New episodes go live every Thursday wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Or you can visit us at blazingcariboustudios.com.
Varmints! Varmints!
Jock and Nerd. Listeners, sign up to our awesome fan club over at jockandnerd.com/Patreon. It's a place where you can help out the show and tip us and send us your support via paper green digital money. any kind of money. But what you get in return is bonus content and lots of perks depending on the tier you choose. Everyone gets a bonus RSS feed. It's like the main podcast, Jock and Nerd podcast feed, but there's extra shit in there. All the shows come out there early. This show, the spin-off show, you got post shows, instant reactions. And like you just heard, we had to talk about the Avengers Infinity War trailer, and we put it up on the Patreon real quick so you guys can check out a sample. Thank you to our latest Patreon supporter, Jay Davis.
Jock and Nerd, Geek Boner.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Thanks, dude.
For supporting the show.
$1. I like it.
$1. We'll take it. If everybody listening signs up for $1 a month, it's a good start. That's all I'm saying.
We'd love it.
Listen, and
we'd be so humbled by this.
Yes. All of this humbles me to no end. Thank you to everyone who has provided continued support this whole time. We're 4, and we couldn't have done this without you. 4. I'm 4.
How old are you? 4.
I'm 4. Rugs, on a scale of asshole drunk to passed out drunk, where you at about now?
1 to SpongeBob.
1 to SpongeBob. Where you at?
Now, I'm like kind of like in the middle. I'm like,
okay.
I'm not going to pass out. I think I can rally this whole show. Wowie zowie!
I love it. That's
but
Jay Davis gave us $1. He expects you to be
I
fully
can't
coherent.
say that I'm going to make any sense.
It's all right. Drunk Boy is always fun on the show, and I think
I can't say I'm not going to talk over Anthony at every opportunity that I can.
Gotcha. Check.
But yeah, I'll make it through the show.
Listen, I think the listeners love Drunk Boy. It's a special occasion.
Have I repeated myself too many times?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet.
I think I'm coming out of it. I've
We'll
been drinking
get
water
there.
like there's nobody's business.
That's good. You'll wake up tomorrow feeling brand new.
With a fucking headache, maybe.
No, water. As
water
long as
will
he
help.
as long as he
It'll flush it
stays up and keeps drinking water, he should be good.
Yeah.
Flush it out. All right, let's get to the review for this episode. We are going to be reviewing the first season of Umbrella Academy on the Netflix. Here's your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This 10-episode season TV show based on a comic book created by Gerard Way and Gabriel Ba, published by Dark Horse Comics, started coming out way back in 2007. It's still coming out, but there's only been like 15 issues.
Yeah, it's like released on like a kind of mini series, and then they kind of go back to another mini series. So it's like little installments that you get.
Oh, so there's like short stories and full issues, but not a lot of source material.
No.
Compared to some of the other things. Gerard Way, Gabriel Ba, also co-executive producing on the show.
I just like the last name, Ba.
Ba.
What's your last name?
Ba. It's badass.
just one syllable.
You didn't finish it. No, I finished it.
Yeah.
The show, in a nutshell, is about a group of kids. Apparently, way back in October of 1989, 43 women who were not pregnant when the day started suddenly were 9 months pregnant, all had babies at the same time. This rich British dude, Reginald Hargreaves, adopts 7 of them.
Right.
He's able to get his hands on 7.
He's able to.
So after like Tracy Morgan comes into the show and impregnates everybody instantly, this dude just comes in and sweeps up a couple of the kids.
He's like, I'm going to take some and I'm going to train them to fight crime. He creates a place called the Umbrella Academy. Years go by. Reginald Hargreaves dies. The family reconvenes to their mansion that is looked after by a chimp named Pogo, who's awesome, and their robot android mom, Grace.
Right.
And, it's a dysfunctional family drama disguised.
A bunch of stunted kids.
About a bunch
and
of
there's shenanigans
kids
going on about the death of their father.
Yeah, so let's start with, I have a feeling, who should we start with? Ruggs, you're the drunkest. Overall, what did you think of the 10-episode season?
Well, I read the original Umbrella Academy.
Oh, you have? I have not.
Yeah, I don't remember it because it was a fucking long time ago. Yeah. It was like 10 years ago.
Well, he's been trying to get this made since 2008. It was going to be a movie at one point, and then it fell through, and then it finally became this show.
I remember when I read it, it gave me like shades of, like, he was a fan of Watchmen, yes. He was a fan of Doom Patrol, yes. He was a fan of all those fucking weird-ass fucking things, and it was like an homage to all those things. And the art style is very like Mike Mignola-esque. Gabriel Ba's artwork is like kind of like that simple but heavy blacks, very cartoony, and it's quite different than this show. Like the heart of it, the essence of it is here, but like there's so many changes. But it's a weird ass show. It reminds me a lot. I mean, there's so many things on right now that are like this,
which is interesting. Yeah,
but I enjoyed the show. I don't think it was perfect.
No,
I think that it was slow in places, and I think that was kind of like beating a dead horse every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I do think that there was some cool stuff in there as well.
The other similar shows you mentioned, Deadly Class on Sci-Fi, Doom Patrol on the DC Universe, both shows of dysfunctional family dynamics. Anthony, we kind of forced you to watch this, didn't we?
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know what? It was forced, but I had heard enough of the hype to just think to myself, I should at least check this out.
I mean, it was so buzzy. It was so huge for a minute there. Everybody was talking about it. So thank you for getting through it. What did you think once you got through it? Because I kind of heard your thoughts when you were like 6 episodes in.
Yeah.
And the last 3 episodes are kind of important. So now I'm interested to know what you think once you got through the whole thing.
So my opening thoughts are this is what I imagine. I'm not talking about the comic. I've never read the comic. This is what I imagine most hipster comic book fans that are off the beaten path will point to and go, no, you don't know what you're talking about. The real shit is the indie stuff. You should check out Umbrella Academy on Netflix. And then you fucking check that out and you just go, what's the hype? This is just okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me. I just felt the show was all right. I mean, I probably would have quit through 6 or 7 episodes in.
Yeah.
For me, the slow was really meandering, really slow at points, really redundant with the secrets that sometimes never get revealed. And it's just secrets on top of secrets. And, let's start off the show by saying the apocalypse is coming, yet move at a fucking snail's pace for 10 episodes.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know. I just found the show kind of meandering. There are some cool things. I enjoyed some of the characters.
Yeah.
Most of the characters, it's so wacky that I really can't relate to anybody on the show.
Really?
Yeah, not really. I mean, my 2 favorite characters are Five and Klaus.
Yep.
But overall, I mean, it has some decent stuff. It is a little wacky, but I found the show kind of be just a little meandering, and I did not like the episode where everything happens and then doesn't happen.
And he undoes it at the very end.
And the ending is terrible. It is banking on a second season of the show. When, in my opinion, you need to bang out a good first season.
You didn't think the last 3 episodes kind of was like a better thing, or didn't save it for you?
It was all right. I mean, I started getting into it by the end.
Yeah.
But then that last episode, man, that ending.
There's good and bad things about that ending.
That ending's rough.
There is some rough parts. For me, I have not read the comic book, and I heard the buzz, and we had already reviewed Deadly Class, Doom Patrol. This was next on the list. We
haven't done the entire season.
No, we did just pilot episodes, which is, their weekly shows. And this one is different because you can watch all 10 of them at once. And I had fun. This was like right up my alley. I love when it's like kind of quirky, wacky. It's like, it's very light. It's kind of like, I read this somewhere and I love it. It's like Wes Anderson and Tim Burton had an X-Men baby. I loved a lot of the musical scenes. I love the characters, like the character-driven nature of it. This is what really hooked me, was like learning about these characters. Same with me, my favorites are number 5 and Klaus. But
is he 6 or 7, or was he 4?
He is Klaus is. I have it here. We will go through the characters in a second.
Okay.
Klaus is number 4.
Gotcha.
But it has pacing issues. Some of the dialogue's a little bit iffy. There's too many secrets and reveals. The ending, I love the whole scene in the concert hall, but some of it was also kind of hokey. But overall, dude, I just got time travel. It's got fucking weird powers, but it's really just a dysfunctional family trying to reconnect.
It's not like a linear, straight, like easy to digest story.
Yes.
They on purpose, they kind of like don't tell you anything. They just kind of hint at things and then Like Pogo, they never go into Pogo.
He's just there.
They never go into the fact that the father is probably an alien.
Oh, what? Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why? What?
In the comic book,
he's an alien? He was such a dick to them.
So, they don't go into the fact that there's other kids that most of them died.
Well, my first question is, what happened to the other fucking 36 or however many kids were there?
A lot of them died because their parents abandoned them because they didn't want them in the first place.
Do those kids ever show up later in the comic?
And there are kids with powers that are not of those.
So could they do like second season, like an X-Men, like have a Brotherhood of Evil Mutants kind of thing?
There is something like that, yeah.
See?
I don't know. For me, the show stacked itself with mystery after mystery after mystery.
A little too many mysteries.
Yeah, for me it just was a little too many mysteries. You can't base the whole show everything off of, well, we got to figure this one out.
You know, that's the biggest criticism that I heard.
Whose eye is this now? It doesn't matter anymore. Oh wait, it does matter.
There was way too many no payoffs,
right?
In a lot of these seasons, like Lost. Basically, they dangle something in you, but in front of you, and they never intend to pay it off. I got that exact feeling as well, but I read the comics, so I had a little bit more. I was like, oh, I remember this. Oh, this is different. And no, that's not how it goes. But like, the thing that I liked about it, was that they really went for it in a lot of ways. They went for like the most silliest shit and they just committed to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it worked half the time, but they went for it, and I respect that.
They definitely went for it.
Yeah.
I mean, they threw in wacky music cues at every chance they could.
Whole dance montages.
Yeah, dance montages.
I loved all those.
Hazel and Cha-Cha just being completely over the top. One being played by Mary J. Blige. Klaus popping a boner, getting choked out
while he's being tortured.
I mean, they were just going all out with it. I mean, let's just make this as black a comedy as possible.
Yeah, I think we're alone now. Debbie Gibson dance scene. Is that Debbie Gibson or Tiffany? I forget. It's one of those.
It's Tiffany.
It's Tiffany. That dance scene is like one of the best dance scenes I've seen in a show in a long time. It told you so much about their character, and it was in the first episode. Goofy as fuck. It pulls away like a dollhouse, but charming.
Like the characters are all weird. Like you got number one.
Let's talk about the characters.
Like number one is like the golden boy, and
Luther.
He so much wants to get approval from the monocle, and which is the dad.
Yeah,
and he fails, and then he gets transformed into this like ape-like being,
kind of horrific.
And then the father just sends him to the moon.
Yes,
I mean, and the thing is like after he finds out that his dad just sent him away because he couldn't stay on the side of him anymore.
Yeah,
he just still wants to do his father's bidding.
Yeah, he just blindly kind of
that, like a beaten wife.
Yeah,
that just keeps coming back for more. He's just a hard character to like. And then he loves his sister.
Yeah, but
he's kind of
loves his sister.
Like it's very like fucking Lannister like,
a little bit. Weird. I mean, they're not.
It's like a weird Superman Jamie feel. I just could never really get into his character. The only time I could ever get into his character, you'll laugh, is when he's at the fucking rave and he's finally letting loose for the first time.
You know, that was a pretty fucking funny scene.
And he hooks up with a girl.
Because you see this giant, hairy, ape-body dude in the fucking rave on Molly.
He was a tough character, though, to really feel anything.
Yeah, to relate to. I will agree. Okay, how about number 2? Diego Hargreaves, whose powers are he can throw knives and they can and bend to throw. He can throw around corners and shit.
Here's my problem with Diego.
Yeah.
A lot of his relationship on the show is based off his relationship with Patch.
Yes.
And
they kill her.
And they not only kill her, but you never really get there's not a ton of scenes between them.
No,
so you never really. Patch is basically fridged right off the bat, and that's his main motivation.
To give him a motivation. I really enjoyed him and Klaus and some of the brother bonding.
That was good.
But
his whole thing is Patch and his mom.
Some of these guys are a little tropey. Like here, you have another hot-headed Latino character. You know, you see that a lot. A lot of these characters are kind of cliche tropey.
That didn't even cross my mind, to be honest with you. He was Latino and hothead.
But that's been thrown around. If it's some of it gets cliche. Number 3, Allison Hargreaves, who reminded me a lot of Candace Patton from The Flash. She looks just like her. She
does a little bit. That's a good.
She is a celebrity, famous in movies.
You never get the sense of that.
You don't. I mean, you get a little bit. People know her, but she's called the rumor also because she could tell people what to do just by saying, "I heard a rumor."
She is
this, and they do
the
it.
good version of Kilgrave.
Oh yeah, she's of Kill.
Except she also uses it for a little nefarious stuff.
Yeah. Kind of heartbreaking both times when she uses it on Vanya.
I liked her character a little bit because out of all the characters, she realizes that her powers are really a curse for her.
Yeah, because she accidentally uses it on her daughter.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't accidentally.
Well,
do
she just starts using it on her daughter to get to go to sleep.
She was so used to using it at that point to get what she wanted that she was using it on her own kid.
Very easy to do bad stuff.
I liked that. I actually liked that character.
Yeah.
Which makes her boring because she doesn't ever use her powers.
That's true. You don't ever get to see her. She only tries to use it once and gets
fucking sliced, which is a huge moment. Okay, number 4, Klaus Hargreaves, one of I think everyone's standout, a fucking flamboyant junkie who can communicate with the dead, but a little bit more also.
I think that's the best written character on the show because it is a curse for him. He's fucking can't, like, you know, if you go back into his childhood, his dad locked him in a fucking morgue.
Yes, so he can deal with the ghosts.
To try and get over the powers, but it just traumatizes him to the degree where he can't even take it, so he drugs himself up.
It makes sense.
It dulls his powers.
So then he doesn't see the ghosts. But his character arc I thought was really good. His relationship with the next guy, number 6, who is Ben, who is the brother that
let me just say something real quick about Klaus.
Yeah.
I think why he's so relatable. I mean, you know, he's flamboyant and he's homosexual, obviously, and he's this wacky goofball character. But what makes him so relatable is the fact that he has an addiction and he's suppressing pain with this addiction. And then when he tries to go cold turkey, it's too hard for him at times, so he keeps going back, which is something I think most people can have some sort of relationship with someone that has that problem, an addiction problem.
Whether it's dead people or, you know, your life that you have that you're running
from. Suppressing something.
Yes, it is an escape. It's dulling the senses.
He has a good arc, though, because at the end of the show, he
stays sober.
He stays sober and he learns to use his powers, or maybe using his powers in a way he never did before.
Right. I mean, and then throwing in the random Vietnam tie. I really
that was
amazing,
dude. That was so crazy. Some of my favorite moments from the show involve Klaus. In a span of a day, he spends a year in Vietnam, falls in love with the guy who this guy becomes his kind of guiding factor moving forward because he could see him even though he's dead. That was nuts.
He just wants to see him again, so that's why he wants to become sober.
Right. And keep
the
his
scene
shit
at
together.
the veterans bar was one of the better scenes in the
where he's in the fucking photo
and
that he's looking at.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
What are you doing in here? But the torture scene was also great because he was getting off and then they start waterboarding him and he's like, "Oh my God, I was so thirsty." Thank you so much. I mean, Klaus had like the best lines, some of the best stuff. Klaus is number 4. Now let's get to number 5, played by Adrian Gallagher. Number 5 doesn't even have a name, but he has the ability to jump through space and time. And in the first episode sets up the whole kind of thing.
He's also the biggest badass on the show.
Dude.
He's the biggest badass. He's the guy that drives the plot forward when he's set up to be the guy.
Every time he's on screen,
who played him was great.
Yeah.
Aidan Gallagher would make a great Damian Wayne Robin.
Playing a 58-year-old, pretty senile, seen it all old man in a 13-year-old's body, whatever
and
the hell
you buy it. You totally buy his confidence and his wisdom that he has in this fucking body. That he was Aidan Gallagher, standout, amazing. Number 6 is who's number 6? That's Ben.
Ben's dead throughout the entire show.
So Ben's dead, but you do see them when they're kids, when they have the fun domino mask, which I thought the detail to leave their eyes white was interesting. Made it very graphic where, you know, we could have seen their eyes, but it was just clear white. And it alludes,
you see him as a ghost too.
You see him as a ghost, but remember in that scene where they're kids, he goes into the room and you just see shadows of like tentacles and people screaming and he comes out all bloody. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? That moment at the end when Klaus finally can channel him and the tentacles come out and save him, that last episode, that was fucking pretty great. Geek boner.
I thought Ben was it was a clever way to kill off a character and keep a little mystery, but then also have him be in it by being the guy that's talking to Klaus throughout the entire show. I thought that was clever.
Then, of course, you have number 7, who is going to be the most well-known person on the show to people, Ellen Page.
I hated her.
playing a 15-year-old boy. She plays in a lot of movies.
Yeah, she was like a shitty character, but whatever.
Written so poorly. Okay, let me get on my soapbox about Vanya.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that character not realize that dude is a creep up from the get-go?
It's creepy from the beginning, yes, I will admit. But
so poorly written.
You got to understand her whole life. Nobody told her she was special. All this guy had to do is be like, Vanya, you are special. And she's down. Very easy.
That's the problem with this show is the secrets, too. Like, two of the main secrets, you realize right off the bat, you know it's going to be. Vanya doesn't have any powers.
Right.
She's probably the most powerful one. She has powers.
Yeah.
This dude that she's hooking up with is a bad guy. You realize that the first fucking episode you see him.
Yeah.
So
those are two big mysteries that right away
it's pretty predictable.
Solved.
Yeah. Plus, you don't get to see Vanya's flashbacks. Like, you don't find out until like the last or second to last episode that she's like killed all these nannies on the way to get.
I don't even know that. I know that you just know right off the bat that they set her up to be the most powerful character.
I mean, she's the Dark Phoenix. She's Jean Grey. They Dark Phoenixed her. So, yes, it does get kind of predictable through the show where you're like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be Leonard's eye. That caught me off guard. But then I was like, oh.
But why do they have to cast that character to be a slime ball right off the bat?
Leonard?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have been this like white knight that came in and like was so heroic. I mean, in the comic books, he's like a full-fledged supervillain. That charms her, saying like, you know, like you were never loved by your super team, but you can join my super team.
Oh,
yeah.
And this one, he's just kind of meek and kind of small talks his way in.
He's unassuming in terms of he just wants to learn how to play the violin.
I did love the backstory of where he was born on the same day.
I like that.
Thought he should have been in the academy, and Hargreaves just fucking humiliates him out in public. He's like, get lost, kid.
And he's got an abusive dad. That all's
and
from
he has
the comics,
an abusive dad. Yeah. And he's really Harold Jenkins. So it kind of makes sense. And the scene where she finally killed him, I thought was fitting. It was a fitting end to fucking Leonard. But then you were like, all right, it's over. Now what? Oh, there's more.
It's like Judgment Day. You can't stop it.
You can never stop it. It was going to happen all the time.
Well, he fakes this crime, so she uses her powers and kills innocent people.
Yeah. Which I knew that was, the minute I saw that, I was like, oh, he fucking staged this. I know he staged this. And of course he does. So it takes predictable paths to these things. But some of the character work saved it for me. Here's some of the stuff I loved. The title card placement every episode where Umbrella Academy would pop up. I love that. They didn't waste any time with an opening credits scene, you know?
I liked it, yeah.
That was very well done. Let's talk about Cha-Cha and Hazel. Mary J. Blige and Cameron Britton as future assassins.
I liked Hazel.
These two
liked Hazel.
were they almost stole the show, their side story. They were so good. I didn't understand why Hazel wanted to be with the donut lady.
Right.
That didn't make any
he's
sense.
been traveling all his life and never got to settle down.
Just like a nice, simple person.
Before we get into that, I need to address well, you're doing everything you like, right?
It doesn't matter. What do you want to talk about?
Go ahead. Keep going.
You're the drunk one. Before you forget, spit it out.
No. I was going to say the thing that really, and I think this is in the comics as well.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be there. They should have edited it out of the show.
Yeah.
Is the whole timeline police.
Oh, yeah.
I think that even though Cha-Cha and Hazel are cool.
Yeah.
They were really unnecessary in this story. And there was so much more things to do with these characters. There's so much more history that they could have got into that would have been interesting to watch. But this whole time police thing is, you don't need that. Like you could just have 5 knowing the future and needing to stop it. And you don't need the whole time police thing.
The time police doesn't do anything.
It just adds a lot of convoluted, stupid stuff that would be otherwise believable with a leap of faith. So now it just takes like you to another level of being even more weird, even more unbelievable, and now you just got to like swallow that too.
That's a very good point. The story actually doesn't change if you take out
the
it's unnecessary. It's completely an unnecessary device.
It's a tighter
story. It doesn't add anything to the story at all.
So let me throw in one more thing on the time police. More of a nitpick.
Yeah.
But god damn it, none of those motherfuckers can shoot.
Everybody,
Jesus Christ, the entire team in the last episode is running straight down the bowling lanes and all the bullets miss.
And they're shooting at the floor. Why are you shooting at the floor? I thought
what are we doing here?
I was like, and well, how do you think that's a good idea? Let's run straight that way where they're pointing their guns and there's nowhere to hide.
I mean, you have characters with powers.
Yeah.
Figure out a clever way to get over that.
They needed bad guys, and I think that's what they needed for this show. They needed bad guys.
Yeah.
And I think it's in the comics, this whole like timeline police.
Is Cha-Cha and Hazel from the comics?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. They're all from the comics.
It was they had a great dynamic, but this is where the show dips into.
But when I read the comics, I thought the exact same thing. This is all unnecessary bullshit.
And it dips into Legends of Tomorrow territory.
The thing too, I enjoyed Cha-Cha and Hazel for what they were.
Yeah.
But I believe I agree with Ruggs. But every time they cut to them, it slowed down the plot immensely. Every time there was the time police shit, that was more time spent away from preventing the apocalypse or getting to know the characters or their backstories or their secrets.
5 has to go work for the fucking time commission, and then there's like a whole episode burnt there, but then he blows it up and they got to deal with that. But the idea of a chase within a chase, like he's trying to stop this, they're trying to stop him from stopping it.
Just this whole side story derailed. Like, put it this way, you have a show that's moving slowly, unraveling, mysteries, secrets, and then you throw this whole other thing in there, and it just, for me, it's unnecessary and slows everything down. And then you're kind of like, you lose your enthusiasm for the show as you're going on because you're like, why do I care about this? So I really think that if they're going to do something and they're going to translate something for TV, I think they should be able to cut that out.
What also happened to me as I was watching the show is I know when a show is moving slowly. This is just me. Whenever a show is moving slowly, I'll pause it and look at my phone. And I did this a lot during this show. And this is only 10 episodes. It's not even a Marvel, Netflix show, which is 13 and can tend to meander a little bit. This was 10, and I felt like they had enough maybe meat in there for 6.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could go into all of these characters. They all have interesting stories. Like, you never get to see what happens with any of them.
No.
You never get to see what happens. I mean, you get into 5 a little bit, but you don't get into everybody else. They could have mined all that and really made us a really rich first season. And then worry about the big bads, like create a big bad, down the line with all these other, because the seed is planted, right? You have all these other kids that were born. Some of them died, but some of them are alive and some of them may be bad. So you have that. You can mine that. This whole time fucking cop thing is ridiculous.
That's where I thought they were going to go, is the kids that were not captured by Hargreaves.
What happened
also,
to them?
Really annoyed, and I know other shows do this where they reveal the secrets in other seasons, but very annoyed about the fact that they tease for a good while that Hargreaves knew about this being the right time to kill himself to get those characters together to prevent the apocalypse, and we don't find that out. How does he know?
How did he know this was going to happen?
I mean, the season ends and nothing's resolved.
No, the world ends and they've jumped.
They jump back in time.
Back in time.
Become
and they've all become
children
kids,
again.
Yes. So they got to relive this as kids and stop it.
It just felt like a kind of a cop out / tune in to season 2.
When she killed Pogo, I was a little upset. I was like,
that happens in the comics.
That
really?
sucked.
So I think they're going to go
Pogo
back.
Looks great, by the way. The motion capture looks amazing.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
Adam Godley as Pogo, as good as the Planet of the Apes.
That's
movies.
what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
I think it's the same people.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. No, and I thought a lot of the effects were generally good. The production design was great. The music was great. Dolores the mannequin was a fun thing for 5 to have carry throughout the whole show.
Yeah, but these are all tropes that we've seen before with Wilson
that's
and whatever.
the thing. We have seen all these before. I just enjoyed that it was like in this different package.
It really is like a patchwork of all these different things that we already know.
It's a little bit X-Men, a little bit Watchmen, a little bit of this.
A little bit of Tom Hanks.
A little bit of Doom Patrol.
A little bit of Doom Patrol, a little bit, yes, which Gerard Way went on to write. So if you were to, listen, we Anthony said something interesting about we only discussed the pilot of Deadly Class and Doom Patrol. But if you were to compare that with this, what would you guys say?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not fair. We binged this whole fucking thing.
That's true.
And
hard to judge.
Doom Patrol, I've only seen a few episodes, and Deadly Class, I've only seen that first 2 episodes. So I really can't say. I mean, I think that Deadly Class seems a little bit cleaner. Like it seems like more tidy, and it's
more standard TV, but it's really violent.
Doom Patrol
really
seems like it's got more weird shit coming.
Yes,
and it's going to be more comic booky and a little bit more out there.
I've caught up on both of them. I'm really digging Doom Patrol, dude. It's It's fucking wacky.
I would say that. So I'll compare the pilots.
Yeah.
Deadly Class. By the end of it, I was really into the premise.
Yeah.
Doom Patrol. By the end of it, I was really into the characters.
Yeah.
This show, I wasn't all that into it until basically the last plot where he has to save. They set up the fact that time travel, and they set up the fact that Doomsday is coming in 8 days, and they have to. So they set up a good premise for a show. I think.
I thought it had a good first episode. Same way with me.
But I didn't think it was as good as the other two pilots. To be honest with you.
I would recommend the Doom Patrol is really good, but I'm probably
I will watch Doom Patrol once it's all done.
I feel like I have to binge it.
Yeah. I definitely would recommend this to anyone looking for.
I don't know if I would.
Really?
I don't know. I think it's a type of show where I think you got to go. You have to kind of enjoy a little bit of wackiness.
I see. You either
how do you rate this? Like in the grand scheme of like these TV shows.
It definitely is. It's the type of show that throws everything against the wall for sure.
Yeah.
So I do admire that. But if I'm talking about just overall general interest in the plot, I just felt like it moved way too slow. Especially for a show that you're binging.
And it wasn't compelling enough. Like, nobody really grabbed you enough to really...
Yeah, I mean, who is the character that you go and you watch this show and you go, I have to see what happens next?
Number 5.
Right.
The only guy is maybe number 5. Number 5, because it's a cool concept of an adult in a kid's body.
Yeah.
But there's no one else where you go, man, that character really, really grabbed me. Like who is the charismatic? It's like for instance, Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser as the robot dude.
Yeah,
off the bat, you go, I want to fucking see how this guy lives.
Yeah, I want more of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who does that for you in this show?
Really, it's not, again, we're going to go back to Klaus and 5, but really when they're all together, it kind of works, but there is no one person. It's the group. It's the family.
It takes a while for me to even warm up to Klaus.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't anyone that grabbed me and went, even let's look at the Marvel Netflix shows. Right off the bat, Kingpin or Punisher, or Jessica Jones or Kilgrave. Those are all really compelling things. There's nothing in this that, at least for me, that pulled me in enough to go, okay, I'm going to ignore the fact that this plot is moving real slow because I just enjoy watching you act.
I feel like that there's, everybody is such a flawed character, and it was meant to be that way, that they're really hard to like off the bat. They really are. They're people you have to kind of warm up to and accept their flaws. So there's that. But when I watched this show, I was like, oh, well, it's very well done. It's nicely shot. There's some nice production value to it. So I did like that. And I read the comics, so I knew what I was getting into. So it didn't really surprise me how weird and how slow it went. But at the same time, I'm imagining, okay, I'm watching this. I get it, but is anybody else going to get it? And are people going to be like, I don't fucking get what's going on. This show is completely out there.
It's not that weird. It's not as weird as Legion. I think if you like quirky, light, like a light Watchmen type of shows, if you like that vibe, it's a good watch.
Watchmen is so much Watchmen is a brilliant thing that
this is not to
tied
that level.
To realities and all that type of stuff. This is like, it's asking you to make a lot of leaps with them into weird territories. So,
it was weird, but I think
you got incest. You got fucking weird daddy issues.
They didn't sleep with each other. They just daddy issues is
you got
is
unexplained chimps.
You got time travel though, and you got travel.
You got people talking to mannequins.
You got drug use. You got
drug use.
You got people wearing creepy, fun big heads.
You have this weird time fucking office where people just fucking, for some reason, no one knows why, they have to keep the timeline a certain way.
Then you got weird tie-ins to real history, like the Hindenburg and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, they were like he had to go back and make it crash.
Right, JF Kennedy. You got all this weird shit.
I forgot about that whole fucking thing.
So there's like a lot of stuff.
There's a lot in here
that people might be like, this is just too much for me. I'm trying to get into this, but it keeps taking me into weird spots. Some people might be along for the ride, but I don't expect most people to be along for the ride.
I think a lot of people watch this, and this is something, it's totally up my alley. I love the music. The Spotify playlist is a lot of fun. It's got a lot of great cuts. I think the use of music was great. Did you guys think Ellen Page was actually playing the violin? How did that look to you?
No.
Okay.
I have no comment on that.
No, not in a million years.
She did. I thought she faked it well.
I've never played a violin, so...
my sister used to play when she was little, but I thought she did a good job of studying and faking it for the
Ellen
show.
Page seems to play a very similar character in all her shit.
She does a lot. She does, but she does it well, that kind of quiet, soft-spoken... but she got badass and started floating and fucking killing people. So. Shooting things from her bow.
She's the white violin.
The white violin, which is like the opposite of the Dark Phoenix.
Take a look at what she looks like in the comic books, Anthony.
I saw it briefly, but I'm going to look
What
it up.
does she look like? How is it different?
She's a violin.
Oh, she's
got
actual...
like strings. She's naked, and she's got a violin on her body.
Oh. Does she play herself?
No,
this is very
she's
strange.
the violin.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, wow, that's so weird.
This is very like Vertigo, like Sandman, DC Vertigo. But that's the shit I always like. But this is weird. Yeah, she's the violin. She's all white. Wow.
I didn't find it weird as so much as there's just a lot that, like I said, a lot of shit that they threw up against the wall.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Like, what else can we? What else can we put in this? Let's do this, this.
And there's a donut store, and he's gonna fall in love. And what else happens?
It worked when I read it because it was, Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, and I was like, this guy's probably got a fucked up fandom.
Yeah.
And he used to be a fat fanboy, just like all of us.
Yeah.
And
speak for yourself there, bub.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that this dude has loved comics his whole life.
Yeah.
So you could, when you read the comic book, you're like, oh, he's doing an homage to all this shit.
Yep.
He's putting his own little spin on it. He's using his little, Tim Burton fantasy shit going on in here.
Yeah.
And when you actually make a show about it, I think that some things just don't quite work.
Good for him being involved and trying to keep it true to the source material. And the fact that this guy did this while he was still in My Chemical Romance, what an amazing career. I'm jealous of this guy's career that he gets to be in a band, but he does truly. He went to SVA, Manhattan, for cartooning and illustration. Right. So he is a cartoonist and writer. And the band just hit at the right time, and then they came back to comics.
I think he's pretty talented, and I think that he could write some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's a shitty writer. I just think that his ideas are very out there and may not be for everybody. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was okay. I wasn't all that impressed, to be honest with you.
We don't need to rank it. I think it's clear where everybody lands.
What's your overall opinion? Would you recommend Imran?
I would. If you like weird shit, quirky shit,
okay,
I recommend it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did enjoy watching it. I was like, I would probably watch another season of it. But I know what the source material is. So I was kind of prepared from the get-go. And I was just like a little bit bored with some of the side stories. And I was like, oh, you got so much good stuff you can get into. So I was a little bit kind of disappointed in stuff that they chose not to cover. And the fact that there were all these unresolved issues.
Would you recommend reading the comic?
Sure. I mean, just for the artwork. The artwork is pretty cool.
It's only 15 issues.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they're going to go, if he's going to make more. Anthony, final thoughts. Would you recommend?
I feel like if I said I would recommend it to someone that enjoys quirky, weird stuff, that would be a cop-out on how I feel about the show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this. I don't recommend it.
Okay.
The show is too slow for you. I mean, I was bored. It's a 10-episode show on Netflix that meant to be binged, and after 6 episodes, I was sitting there going, shit, man.
This is still going.
This is still going on. I don't know. It really soured me when there was the episode where everything was
You don't
was
like
undone.
when they fuck with the timeline and
no, because then the
things.
next episode they rehash some of those plot points again for you. Where
And
it's like,
there was character development in that episode that was just undone. Like Luther kissed Allison.
Like, I mean, I don't even care. It's just
and then they undid all that.
It just was a waste. Like that episode was just the epitome of a waste of my time.
It was kind of filler.
I know it's like they show what could have been, and I understand that. But when the show is already moving as slow a pace as it is, in my opinion, to have an episode where nothing really happened.
Yeah, well, you start back at the fucking beginning.
It's rough. It's a rough. So I know I wouldn't recommend it.
So yeah, it slides like it's in between Legends of Tomorrow and like a weird show like.
Oh, it's better than Legends of Tomorrow. I mean, the production value alone is better than Legends of Tomorrow. I wouldn't go that. It's definitely like Netflix put some money into it. You could see that it's well done.
Yeah, the production
it's definitely like an A-class production values.
I'm looking forward to a second season. I hope it gets better and they throw more money.
I know a lot of people liked it, so I'm sure it's going to get a second season.
It's going to be a big one for Netflix.
It just like I said off the bat, it reminds me of one of those shows where someone goes, "Man, you like Marvel? You're a loser. You're not really like comics. Check this out."
Bro.
And then you go, "Wait a minute, this is what you're hyping up to me,
bro? You don't know nothing about.
You don't know anything about comics. You don't read the indies.
They have all this stuff it's like Gerard Way threw in everything in the kitchen sink. Aliens.
Yeah, you see all the inspirations.
Things,
yeah.
Like time travel and
I love
other
time
weird
travel.
bullshit. Yeah.
I spoiled that actually. I Wikipedia'd Umbrella Academy right after.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, I was looking at the comic book page.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, they tell you that Reginald Hargreaves is an alien.
Leonard.
No, it was an alien.
Oh no!
And I go, oh,
spoiler alert.
Wait.
Fuck.
Oh, Reginald was an alien. Yeah. Well, that's in the Wikipedia.
It's in the Wikipedia, but that'll
probably be the second season as you find out.
The last episode, you see him looking out, and there's missiles being launched out.
Yeah,
or
what
something.
was that? That was weird. That was in a flashback.
Strange. And I guess it makes a little more sense if he's an alien. I don't know.
So if he's an alien, he was looking for superpowered people to stop the apocalypse.
Well, if he's an alien, then a lot can be explained just because
that's
he's
how
an
he
alien.
knew. Yeah,
well,
right.
It's, aliens have technology and shit.
To wrap this up, I wanted to talk about another Netflix recommendation. It is something Ruggs recommended, and I watched all of it. Ruggs,
I didn't watch it all yet.
Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix, a animated adult anthology brought to you by Tim Miller. David Fincher is really fucking good, people. It's 18 animated shorts varying in length. The shortest one's like 5.5 minutes. The longest one's like 16 minutes.
It's basically porn.
There's a lot of fucking. There's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of boobies. There's a lot of action, monster action. Some of the CGI some of the animation is stylized. Some of it is stunning, like realistic video game CGI animation. It's fucking really good. And once you start, this is so binge worthy. It's so brilliant because you start one, it's like 10 minutes. It ends. The next one starts. It says 12 minutes. You're like, oh, I got 12 minutes. I'm going to watch this. That one ends. The next one's like 6 minutes. You're like, oh, I can watch this. This is 6 minutes. And before you know it, you've gone through fucking 18 episodes.
Right.
Of the show. I would highly recommend. I found this article. They do something weird with this show on Netflix. When you pull it up, you'll notice there's no episode numbers because it is an anthology. Nothing really connects. It's not a shared universe. But through a series of reports, it turns out based on your likes and your algorithms, the series of episodes it presents to you can be different user to user.
Really?
Yeah, which is really weird because
what was your first episode?
My first episode was the one where she controls the monster.
That was mine.
Yeah, and so it's really cool. It's like in the future, and these people enter in these battles where you control these giant like kaiju monsters in this ring, and they have to fight each other. And the fucking fight is brutal.
It's one of the best monster fights I've ever seen.
Holy shit, it's an amazing monster fight. But it's other users began noticing that the order of their shows was different. Meaning, does Netflix have potentially really personal demographic data on everyone?
Probably.
Oh, definitely. That's their whole The whole basis of Netflix, you remember Business Wars, is they had an algorithm that could figure out what your viewing habits were and what to suggest to you next. So you never got off Netflix.
They have confirmed that it's not based on stuff like gender, ethnicity, or sexual identity. But it's more, I guess, algorithmic viewing habits.
Watching habits, yeah.
Yeah. So, interesting experiment. They said we've never had a show like Love, Death, and Robots before, so we're trying something completely new, presenting 4 different episode orders. Oh, there's 4 that it will serve you. So you can watch them in any order, but I would recommend this, dude. It's fucking great. The animation is stunning.
Who are you recommending? Me?
Everyone. Okay. The listener. You should watch it too. Anthony, you should watch
it. I took it for a spin.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, this is great. Like, this is like CG animation, like all different styles of it.
Yep.
There's one. Okay, I got confused because somebody told me that one of the main designers of Into the Spider-Verse did one of these.
So there is one episode that looks like the Spider-Verse style, but only it's more refined and fluid.
Yeah, but that's not the one.
No?
The one with the stripper is the one with the Spider-Verse guy.
Oh.
And that is fucking amazing because, and a lot of people say that they don't like that one because
the one where she sees the murder.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's
I couldn't
amazing.
even tell how they did that. Is that like painting on top of a video?
Some of it looks rotoscoped, like they filmed these things and drew on top of it.
It was so crazy looking that I was like, I've never seen that before.
And some of just the straight CGI people look so good. They're acting, the emotions, the fucking wrinkles. I was like, wow.
It was really weird. I mean, I just the fluidity of it and there's no dialogue, I don't think.
No, there is. Oh, no, it's a big chase scene mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that one's fucking great. Yeah.
It just looks great. Like, the one that has the farmers with the Spider-Verse animation.
Yes.
Is good, but it's still jerky.
So there's episodes that remind me of Starship Troopers. There's episodes that remind me of Aliens. They do.
Number 13 was one of my favorites.
Yeah. There's the movie Aliens. There's one that it's really good. Highly recommend. All right, guys. Let's do news from the nation. We haven't done this in like 2 weeks.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation. Oh, that's like a boozy wine fart. I can smell it from here. Okay, well done. We're gonna start off. I got a speak pipe from our buddy listener Joey Austin. There it is.
Hey guys, how's it going? I got a couple questions for you. First off, do you think it's possible that Disney, with their huge pockets, could reach out to Netflix and ask them to buy out the contract for the Marvel properties so they could move them over to Hulu Plus or Mouseflix, wherever? Second of all, do you think that it would be profitable? Because it would probably take a big number because Netflix would have Disney kind of over the barrel and you're giving money to a direct competitor. I don't know, just food for thought. I think it'd be a interesting scenario. If anybody could do it, Disney could do it. Hey guys, keep up the good work and Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd. Yay, Joey Austin. Thanks. What about that voice? That guy's got a fucking smoky voice. I believe Joey has a podcast also.
Nice.
I love the voice, Joey Austin. I don't know. What do you think? They're spending a lot of money.
Is it possible? I mean, yeah, it's possible. I don't know maybe they just wait that out. As far as the second question, it being profitable, no, because as I mentioned earlier, Netflix isn't still even profitable.
And they've been doing this for years.
It takes so much to produce original content.
Yeah.
And especially at the level that Disney's going to want to produce it, that it's not going to be profitable for a long time.
You can't take something that's been on for 3 years and unless it has this huge following that's going to be there, which, as you know from the numbers that Netflix let out, that they get less and less numbers every year. Every season, they get less and less viewers. So it's not like it's at an all-time high where like all of these people are clamoring for it. So
it's getting spread thin too now with every new streaming service.
And there's so much competition. So I don't know. I don't know if it's in their best interest to try and buy it out.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with those characters. Like, while I would love to see them on Hulu, Do you recast? Do you have to wait that 2 years? Do they even bother? They got their hands full now already with all of Fox's shit.
I think they're going to circle back and recast.
And no announcement on Jessica Jones season 3 yet either. I thought it was
coming out. Yeah,
I thought it would come out in like April or the springtime, but no, just quiet. I wonder if they save that, put it on Hulu. I don't know. Okay, I have an email from Ron Hans. He says, "Hey guys, I wanted to send you my thoughts on the Captain Marvel movie. So far, I've seen it twice with a plan to see it a third time this weekend with the family." With the AMC pass. General thoughts. I went into this movie with mild expectations. I was expecting something between the level of Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, and that's about what I got. Not top tier Marvel, but not Thor, The Dark World. I liked the movie overall, but did think there were some things, as I'm sure you guys have mentioned, that they could have done to make this great. Pros, Brie Larson, I thought was a great pick to play Captain Marvel. I did like all the action and the normal humor that all Marvel movies have. I also forget how good Jude Law is until I see him in something. While he or Lee Pace were not given much to do, I thought what they did was good. I also like the twist with the Skrulls being the good guys. Last thing is all the 90s nostalgia. Cons, I thought most of the supporting cast wasn't flushed out enough. It seemed they were just there as background noise. Nick Fury fighting was rough to watch. Sam Jackson should just be there to be Sam Jackson. His on-screen fighting days are over. He is 70 years old, guys. 70. Lastly, as I'm sure you guys talked about, there were things that they could have changed to push the envelope to make this more upper-tier Marvel rather than a pit stop on your way to Endgame. As I said on The Nation, I don't think Marvel is going for something Civil War level with this movie, which is unfortunate because I think having your first female-led movie should have been better. Anywho, I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Since Anthony always asks why listeners say, keep up with the great content, I will end this by saying, stay shitty. Jock and Nerd.
Perfect.
Thanks, Ron. He had one addendum. He wrote back. He said, I listened to the bonus episode we put out. It reminded him of something he forgot. While I said I like Brie Larson, I think the best version of her is going to be an Endgame. We need to add a little something to the old saying. DC does it first. Marvel does it better. But then we need to add that Russos do it best. DC does it first, Marvel does it better, but the Russos do it the best. I think we can agree with that, Ron Hans. I'm excited to see fucking this Carol Danvers in this Russo.
My question is, why see it 3 times if it's not the greatest movie?
See, there's something. It's a fun movie. Like, it's a fun time.
I don't know. Don't give it your money if you don't think it's the greatest.
Speaking of monies, this movie, in release 13 days, has made domestically $282 million. Worldwide, it is sitting at $812 million. Surely to hit a billion, fellas. Yeah,
it'll probably cross $1 billion.
I think it'll top out at
I got $1 billion for it as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
$1 billion.
13 days, $812 million. Josh McClinney emailed this over. He said, I saw this on The Nation. Credit to Jose Gonzalez, but I wanted to hear from you three. If you had only the option to watch either Avengers Endgame or Game of Thrones finale, the whole season of the Game of Thrones, which would it be? Now, I believe we answered this before, but it wasn't the whole season. Last time,
I'd watched the whole season before.
Shit, this may change my answer because at first I'm like,
so much more entertainment value.
I've been watching MCU since 2008. I need to see what happens in this buildup. But now that you said the whole season 8 of Game of Thrones, I don't know anymore because that's a lot to miss.
For me, it might be recency bias and the fact that I've followed it longer, but I still lean towards Endgame. But it's tough. But it's not like it's a landslide.
No, I think I would just edge out Endgame.
I feel like for me, it's like the only thing that's really the question of, because I know it's all going to be tied up. I know that they're going to like restore a lot of the characters,
right?
And I know that some of them are going to die. That's the only thing that I don't know who's going to die and how it's going to
happen.
I could probably guess. I don't think there's going to be any amazing surprises in here. But Game of Thrones. It's over. It's over.
It's over.
So I could always go back and watch further Marvel movies, but Game of Thrones, the way we know it, is gone. So I need to watch the rest of it.
Let me give a quick.
This is the true ending.
I might change my answer.
I got to give a quick plug.
Yeah.
my show with TJ Johnson on the spin-off show.
Spin-off show.
We dive balls deep into Game of Thrones, and we pose this question, and his answer was very similar in that Game of Thrones is over after this. There's no more Game of Thrones. We might get some prequel stuff,
but this is a finite ending.
And the show built itself on the fact a lot of the show's appeal, especially in the beginning, was nobody's safe.
Yeah. And they've been waiting almost as long. I think it started in 2011.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm changing my answer because
you flip flop? No way.
Right? That never happened.
Never happened.
Here's why.
You're not at all agreeable.
Because I can have someone describe to me a 3-hour movie in detail. It would be a lot harder for someone to sit down and tell me the last 8 episodes what happened. I'd rather watch it. One update. First of all, I just think this hype and I want to enjoy these episodes because April 14th it starts. May 19th it's over. I kind of want to take my time and enjoy it. So there's an update on the runtime being that the 3rd episode of season 8 is, the first 2 are 54 and 58 minutes. The 3rd episode is the longest of the season, 82 minutes.
Geek boner.
Something really
seems like
big,
a long time.
Something fucking crazy is going to happen in the 3rd episode of season 8 because then the remaining are 78 minutes, 80 minutes, 80 minutes.
Wow.
3rd episode, 82 minutes. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's going to be a fucking giant battle. And then are they going to save the big thing for the second to last episode, or actually for the last episode this time?
I'm so souped.
I can't. April is going to be so crazy. This is in between Shazam and so that 82-minute episode is the weekend Avengers Endgame comes out.
Someone's got to make a 1-hour recap of all the seasons so I can watch it and get primed for this new one.
I signed up for HBO again, and if you go on the Comcast, they have this whole Game of Thrones section where there's character breakdowns, there's recaps, there's synopsis, there's all this extra kind of fun shit that I want to get through before the season starts. It's nicely laid out.
DJ recommended the Take on YouTube. They do a lot of good character analysis for the Game of Thrones stuff.
I do need a refresher, a TLDR. Going back,
you can always watch the Samuel L. Jackson recap.
That's fantastic. Yes, it's very good. But that April 28th episode, same weekend, Avengers Endgame. That's going to be a fucking crazy weekend. You got Endgame. You got the longest Game of Thrones episode of the final season. Woo. Okay, last thing. Adam Morris shared a link to our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. There's an actor named Noah Centineo who is in talks to play He-Man in Sony's Masters of the Universe reboot. Adam Morris, big He-Man fan. He comments pretty much the opposite of what I was picturing. I know they're probably going to CGI up everything anyways, but it still seems a weird choice. This guy has been in To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
What?
And some other things.
They're flopping this movie, right? This movie's going to flop hardcore.
6'1", kind of skinny there, young guy. But this is going to be Adam / He-Man? The fuck is this?
Unless they make everything CG, which is ridiculous, I feel like this is going to flop this movie.
So this credit is officially on his IMDb. He is playing He-Man. It's in pre-production for a March.
They've just flopped this movie. They've just fucking ruined this movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Look, there's only one person casted. I don't even know if they have a fucking script. I don't know when. This was supposed to come out by the end of this year.
I don't think this movie's even going to get made. I think it's going to stall out.
They've been trying to, we keep talking about this and this is the first actual thing that's happened for this Masters of the Universe movie.
Yeah, it's not though. It's I don't know. There's no big names attached to this.
No, David Goyer stepped out, remember? And then Gore Verbinski was going to direct, and he left. And then the Nee Brothers is being directed by the Nee Brothers. Nee.
The Knights who say Nee.
The Knights who say Nee. There's 2 of them. So
I feel like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Although the budget might not match, I feel like this kind of stuff plays better on TV than it does. Like if you try to release something like He-Man or something a little off the beaten path in movies, it seems to always kind of
bomb
and it's never that great. I mean, Kingsman, I guess, is something that stood a little bit, and Kick-Ass was good, but I can't think of maybe Wanted. I don't know.
That's a good point.
I feel like the avenue for a lot of this stuff is TV. That's where it gets embraced, and then we talk about it like Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, a live action Masters of the Universe fucking Netflix show would be great, but just do.
I feel like we'd start talking about it then.
But look at Thor Ragnarok. You could just do it like that's a He-Man movie. It's fucking just do Thor Ragnarok.
I feel like that the right director and the right cast and the right art director could really make this a great movie, but I don't see it. It doesn't have the power of Disney behind it. It doesn't have the power of like really visionary filmmakers behind it. So I don't know. These Nee brothers, never heard of them. This fucking actor, never heard of him.
This fucking actor.
Fucking guy.
Like, he doesn't look anything like He-Man. You know, he looks like Joey Lawrence or something, you know? So it's like, yeah.
Klaus kept reminding me of, what's his name? Franco. From Umbrella Academy.
James Franco, yeah. Sure.
I'm like, this is the guy, they should have got Franco to play Klaus.
He was so skinny, it didn't hit me at all as Franco.
No, he has this like mannerisms. It was like a Franco light. Anyways, that's the show. Other shows we were on, you guys, check me out. I just did an episode of The Voice from the Underground podcast with Jason Dutch, Big Haas, no TJ, because TJ was showing up on Anthony's spinoff show.
He was on my spinoff show. I think it's actually a really good episode. So
check that out.
People enjoy it. And next spinoff show is hopefully Dr. Adam Morris.
Ooh, I like it. Geek boner. Yeah, that Voice from the Underground episode. I talked about like social issues and shit, not just geek stuff.
Things that you wouldn't expect Imran to know about.
Hey, I got opinions.
Oh, maybe I'll listen to that one.
I got a hole in my face so sound comes out and says things. Anyways, guys, and final thoughts for ending year 4, beginning of year 5 on our birthday show. Happy birthday.
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm stepping all over you.
Oh, no, that's fine.
You drunk fucking
I'll say, Ruggs Boy said it earlier, but it really is true. It feels like this show is now just a habit.
Yeah.
And not a habit in I feel obligated to do this. More of a habit of this is just a part of my life now.
It's a nice routine.
I just do it.
Yeah.
I just do it every day because I enjoy doing or not every day. Imran works on it.
Sometimes it feels like every fucking day.
But I do this because I enjoy it and I appreciate it. And it wouldn't be, obviously not without you guys, but also without any listenership and the being rejuvenated by the feedback and the Patreon donations. All that stuff really helps me feel like this isn't work.
I mean, it's the only time I get to talk to Drunk Boy on a weekly basis. And if I didn't have that, life would be very sad.
Yeah. Same here, Imran. Look, when I came on the show, I was here to try and provide comic relief and just all out stupidity. And as the years have gone on, I feel like a responsibility to give good reviews and to try and bring something to the table for us to talk about. And it's kind of ruined me for movies.
Yeah.
Because I go with everything into this critical eye where I've always had it, but I've always kept it to myself and not been a dick about it. But now,
we need
I have
that.
a forum where I could fucking just let it fly.
Let that dick flag fly.
Yeah. And it makes me sometimes I feel bad that I'm shitting on everybody's geekdom. But at the same time, I think that there's so much hype out there. There's so much fucking flag waving out there.
Absolutely.
That it's great to have a place where not only, I'm into trying to figure stuff out. You guys are here trying to figure stuff out. And I think that's what makes it interesting for everybody else to listen to. And I'm happy to do this show. And I love that it's been 4 years and it's flying by.
I know. It's amazing. That's really interesting though. Anthony, do you watch things differently because of doing this show?
Yeah, a little bit. I definitely consume things a little bit more with a critical eye. It has changed how I enjoy things. I still intend to enjoy everything that I watch.
Yeah.
But what I would say is this show has opened me up to new things.
Yeah.
Would have been, as you guys well know, I haven't seen as much as you guys.
Yeah.
And this show has definitely opened me up to watching new things, and the show's opened me up to just being a little bit more thoughtful in my analysis of things. So that's
excellent,
good and bad. But I enjoy all that comes with it.
That's some of the best stuff. Is like I think everyone's been open up to new things, and we share our recommendations. But the only story I could share is it's similar. When I started playing guitar, I could not enjoy live music anymore. And it's still to this day because I'm constantly watching the guitarist. I'm like, what chord is he playing? What's the sequence here? What are they doing? And it's the show is kind of the same way. It's like, why it changes how you watch things. I can't just like watch a band anymore because I'm deconstructing the song and the verses and the chorus and what they're playing. So, but it's great. It's great analysis, and it helps to try new things. And thank you to the listener for squeezing us into your routine every week, wherever we are, wherever you listen. And I know some of you fuckers listen right away, and I love that. It blows me away. There are times when people are commenting on the show what seems like minutes after I posted it. I was like, there's no way you could have listened to the whole show. It just went up.
We have a great group of fans, and they're really awesome. They're passionate, and all the stuff that they're doing, they're paying for these cameos. They're giving you not Xboxes. They're giving you PlayStations,
PS4, and cameos, and Patreon support. And you guys are great, and it keeps us going. So can't thank you enough. Follow us on Instagram at Jock and Nerd. Tell a friend. Grow the show. You know what I'm going to say. Blah, blah, blah. Thanks for listening this week to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the Nerd.
Rugs, where can they find you online? I totally forgot.
Oh, shit. At Really Rugboy on Twitter. I haven't gotten banned by anyone this week.
Great news. We'll catch you next time.
Gentlemen, this is the Democracy Manifest.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Who cares? A jock said that.
Jock and Nerd.
You're still here? You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go. Go. Go home. It's over. Get out of here. Go home. All right? Leave. Leave. I'm calling the cops. Get out of here. Get out. The ending of Ferris wheel wasn't that long a thing, but go. Get the fuck out. He didn't say that either, but that's me ad-libbing. Okay? Just go.